Assalamu alaikum. Today in this video we will discuss about gastropathy and acute gastritis. Whenever we see the word itis, then it means it is inflammation, and the word gastro means stomach. So the word gastritis means inflammation of the stomach. Whenever we will see acute gastritis, then acute means that there is infiltration of the neutrophils. So when we will see a histology of a stomach with acute gastritis, then there will be a neutrophil seen in the slide. Then there is gastropathy. Gastropathy means any disease of the stomach, including the acute gastritis. There are different factors which are responsible for causing the gastropathy and acute gastritis. For example, there may be non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. There may be alcohol, bile reflux. What does the word bile reflux means? Normally, the bile is flowing from the common bile duct into the second part of the duodenum. But sometimes it may happen that from the second part of the duodenum, it can reflux back into the first part and then into the stomach. It causes stomach pain and burning sensations in the stomach. This is known as bile reflux, and it may lead to gastropathy and acute gastritis. Then we have stress-induced injury. Then there are certain other words used here. For example, there are mucosal erosion, hemorrhages, curdling ulcers. We will discuss these words later. Okay, what is gastritis? Gastritis is an inflammation of the lining mucosa of the stomach. It is of two types, acute form and chronic form. Acute form means that there will be infiltration of the neutrophils, and then there is chronic form. Acute form occur when there is use of when there are use of some, for example, alkali or acid. In case of suicidal attempts, then it can cause sudden or transient acute form. Then there is chronic form, which may occur because of prolonged use of alcohol or non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, for example, aspirin. Acute gastritis appears in four forms. There may be mild acute gastritis, which is difficult to recognize. Then there may be acute inflammation. Whenever we see the case of active or acute inflammation, in case of acute gastritis, then there will be mild edema in the lamina propria. There will be mild congestion in the blood vessels and neutrophilic infiltrates. Then there are two severe conditions, which are gastric erosions and acute erosive hemorrhagic gastritis. What do we mean by gastric erosions? Gastric erosion means that there is some erosion in the mucosa of the stomach, and when these erosions extend, then they may lead to hemorrhages. And these two conditions together known as acute erosive hemorrhagic gastritis. And this condition then may progress to ulcers. Okay. In this diagram, this is the epithelium, normal epithelium of the stomach. This is the lamina propria. So this is the mucosa of the stomach. Below the mucosa there is muscular layer, which is known as muscularis mucosa, and then there is serosa. Normally what happens, in the epithelium of the stomach, there are parietal cells present. These parietal cells are responsible for the secretion of HCl. Due to the presence of HCl in the lumen of the stomach, the pH of the lumen is very low, that it is near 1, which is very much acidic as compared to the blood, which has a pH of 7. Now this low pH, in addition to causing digestion of the food, it can also damage the normal mucosal lining of the stomach. So there must be some protective mechanism by which the lining can protect itself. There are different mechanisms. Number one, this gastric mucosal lining consists of specialized cells, which are known as foveolar cells. These foveolar cells are responsible for causing the secretion of the mucus. This green color is a mucus. This mucus is produced by these foveolar cells. In this mucus or mucin, there is also bicarbonate ions present. These bicarbonate ions also prevent the damage by the HCl, which is present into the lumen of the stomach. Then there is epithelial barrier. This epithelial barrier prevents the passage and diffusion of certain substances, including the HCl and certain food particles, into the lamina propria, and it is also a protective mechanism. This epithelium has regenerative capacity and it can regenerate itself if it is damaged. Also, the foveolar cells which are present here into the epithelial lining, they can regenerate itself, and there is regeneration of these foveolar cells every 3 to 7 days. Then there is also production of prostaglandins. Prostaglandins are present here, and these prostaglandins also have the protective effect. So these are this is the normal stomach lining. Now there are certain factors which are responsible for causing the damage to the stomach lining. Number 1, there is H. pylori infection. H. pylori is a bacteria. It is a gram positive rod, and this H. pylori do not invade the normal mucosal lining, but it attaches itself to this mucosal lining and it produces an enzyme which is known as urease enzyme. This urease enzyme converts the urea into ammonia, and this ammonia is alkaline, and it causes damage to the mucosal lining, and it can cause gastritis as well as gastropathies. Then there are mentioned non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. These non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, for example aspirin, inhibits the COX pathway, COX-1 pathway as well as COX-2 pathway. As a result of which there is decreased production of prostaglandin E2 and I2, which have a protective function. When prostaglandins are not produced, then this epithelium is vulnerable to damages. Then prolonged use of tobacco, alcohol also cause damage to this epithelial lining. Then there is gastric hyperacidity, that is excessive production of HCl. This can be prevented by the use of certain proton pump inhibitors. Then there is duodenal gastric reflux. Some other factors are also described, for example ischemia and shock. It can occur in case of burns. For example, we have a burn patient. In the patient of burns, there may be hypovolemic shock. Due to hypovolemic shock, there may be ischemia of the stomach, and due to this ischemia there is necrosis, as a result of which necrosis occurs of the epithelium and ulcer can form here. So ischemia and shock can also lead to acute gastritis and gastropathies. In this third diagram an ulcer is shown. इसमें पूरा का पूरा ये जो म्यूकोजल लाइनिंग है ये भी डैमेज हो रही है, एंड आफ्टर म्यूकोजल लाइनिंग देयर इज आल्सो डैमेज टू द मस्कुलरिस. Then there is this is necrotic debris. Below the necrotic debris, this is the inflammatory infiltrate is present, in which there are certain acute inflammatory cells, for example neutrophils are present. Then there is granulation tissue, and at last there is scar formation. There is granulation, there is collagenous scar. We can remember it with the help of a mnemonic which is known as NIGS. From N we have necrotic debris, from I we have inflammatory cells, G we have granulation tissue, and S we have fibrotic scar. Now what are the signs and symptoms of acute gastritis? Acute gastritis may be asymptomatic, or there are certain signs and symptoms including epigastric pain. There may be vomiting or nausea. In severe conditions, for example in case of erosive hemorrhagic acute gastritis, there may be hematemesis, which means blood in the vomiting, and there may be melena, which means blood in the stools. In case of melena, the stools are tarry colored, and they are difficult to flush, and they have an offensive odor. Okay, now there is pathogenesis. We have already discussed this pathogenesis in the previous diagram, so here we will go through it quickly. Normally in the epithelium of the stomach there are present parietal cells, and these parietal cells are responsible for the secretion of HCl. This HCl can cause damage to the normal mucosal lining. So there are certain protective factors which are present. Number one, we have mucus production from the foveolar cells, which regenerate themselves every 3 to 7 days. Then there is production of bicarbonate ions which are present in the mucus layer. Then there is epithelial barrier which prevents the diffusion of HCl and certain other substances into the lamina propria and prevents damage to the lamina propria. Then there is epithelial regenerative capacity, and there is also production of prostaglandin E2 and I2. Then there are mentioned certain factors which are responsible for causing damage to the gastric mucosa. We have also discussed them earlier in the diagram. Number one, we have non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Then there is H. pylori infection. Then there is mentioned that as the age progresses, then there is decreased production of mucin as well as bicarbonate ions which have a protective function, as a result of which in old people there is increased chance of gastritis. Then the people who live at high altitudes are more prone to acute gastritis, because there is decreased oxygen flow to certain organs including the stomach. Okay, now there is morphology. This is the cut section of the stomach, and this is the mucosa of the stomach of in a patient of acute gastritis. We can see that there is severe hyperemia of the gastric mucosa. So this is the gross of acute gastritis. This is a patient with with gastropathy, and these black areas are the areas of hemorrhages. So it is a condition of acute erosive hemorrhagic gastritis. Now there is histological appearance. In histology, we can see that there are excessive number of neutrophils which are present in the mucosa. There is neutrophilic infiltrate in the mucosa, so we can say that it is a condition called acute gastritis. In this diagram, they have shown the bile reflux, as we have discussed earlier. It is one of the cause of gastritis. This is the common bile duct from which the bile flows normally into the second part of the duodenum, but in some conditions it may reflux back into the first part of the duodenum and then back into the stomach, and it can cause burning sensations in the stomach as well as epigastric pain and gastritis. In our book, there is a line written that in acid secreting parts of the stomach, a capillary alkaline tide is generated. What do you mean by alkaline tide? Actually, the parietal cells, when they secrete HCl, as shown in this diagram, this is a parietal cell. It secretes H positive ions in the form of HCl into the lumen of the stomach. Then at the same time, they also secrete bicarbonate ions into the blood. So in the blood, there will be alkaline tide. Now, in our book, there are certain terms which are written, which I will discuss. First of all, there is written a term hypertrophic gastropathy. What do we mean by hypertrophic gastropathy? As the word shows itself, that there is hypertrophy of the gastric mucosa. There is hypertrophy of the gastric mucosa, but in the antral part of the stomach, which is present close to the pylorus of the stomach, there is atrophy. So hypertrophic gastropathy is a condition in which there is hypertrophy of the gastric mucosa, but in the antral part of the stomach there is atrophy and there is hypersecretion. As there is hypertrophy, then there is hypersecretion of acid, pepsin and mucin. This is known as hypertrophic gastropathy. There are given two examples of hypertrophic gastropathy. One is Menetrier disease and second is Zollinger-Ellison syndrome. I can show you how the Menetrier disease looks like in the histology. This is Menetrier disease histology. There is enlargement of the glands. This is the lamina propria, and there are enlargement of the glands as well as in the in the mucus, in the mucosa there is excessive infiltration of the plasma cells, which can be seen, ये purple dots जो नज़र आ रहे हैं, this is Menetrier disease. Now there are two more terms. One is curling ulcer and second is Cushing's ulcer. What is curling ulcer? It is an acute gastric erosion which occurs as a result of burn. It is a complication of severe burn. What happens in severe burns? That in severe burns there is decrease in the plasma volume, there is decreased blood flow to the stomach, as a result of which there is necrosis and sloughing of the gastric mucosa. The ulcer which results is known as curling ulcer. Then there is another term written which is Cushing ulcer. Cushing ulcer is a condition which occurs in case of brain tumors, head injury or infection. These all conditions can increase the intracranial pressure, due to which there is overstimulation of the vagus nerve. This overstimulation of the vagus nerve causes increased secretion of gastric acid, which can lead to gastroduodenal ulcers, and the ulcer thus formed is known as Cushing ulcer. Thank you.